मातृरूपेण
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
पाण्ड्य महादेवी
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
मीनाक्षी अवतारा
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
अर्धनारीश्वरा
नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यलिङ्गेश्वर नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यसद्गुरु नित्यानन्द
करुणामयमूर्ति
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
कमलालय कीर्ति
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
आनन्द परशान्ति
नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द
आत्मालय कान्ति
नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यलिङ्गेश्वर नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यसद्गुरु नित्यानन्द
हरिहर सागर
नित्यानन्द
अमृत शेखर
नित्यानन्द
द्वैताद्वैत
नित्यानन्द
त्रिगुणातीत
नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यलिङ्गेश्वर नित्यानन्द नित्यसद्गुरु नित्यानन्द
पूरण कारण आगमधारण पूरण कारण आगमधारण आदिगुरुनाथ श्री
The viewers, the participants who are joining us for today's Nithyananda Yoga. It's 4 o'clock and now let us all begin with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam सर्वदी साक्षीभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Now we'll be entering into the Shivamula mantra. We'll be chanting the Shivamula mantra 11 times to invoke Paramashiva as we start the yoga. Om Ham Om Shivaya Namaha. 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 Now we'll be entering into the Tattvachamanam, the cleansing of the body, as yoga is a ritual. So please take your Panchapatram Nidharani filled with fresh water, cup your palm in the Udbhava Mudra, the Gokarna Mudra, and pour a Udharani of water in your hand and sip the water at the end of the mantra at every Swadha. Om Atmatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Vidyatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Shivatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Now wash your hand. And with the base of your thumb, move from right to left of your lips twice. Om Ham Hridayaya Namaha. Now with the tips of your index, middle and ring finger touch the upper lip and lower lip. Please wash your hands. With the tips of your right hand, index finger and thumb, touch the right nostril, left nostril. With the tips of the right hand thumb and ring finger, touch the right eye, right ear, and left ear. Now please wash your hand. With the base of the right hand, little finger and thumb, touch your navel center, right shoulder, left shoulder. And with the tips of all your fingers, touch the top of your head, right shoulder, left shoulder, and heart center. Now, we'll be entering into the Sankalpa, the conscious resolution for today's yoga. Take a moment, close your eyes, visualize whatever you want to manifest today during the yoga. Whether you want to have a strong body, how do you want your health to improve? Anything, visualize it. Now clench your hands as a fist, placing your left hand over right hand over your left hand and placing it on your right thigh as we chant the Sankalpa. Om Mamopata Samasta Durita Kshayadvara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartam Shri Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Prityartam Cha Adya Purvokta Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam अस्यां शुभतिथौ पूर्ण आरोग्ययुक्त दृढगात्र यौगिकशरीरसिद्ध्यर्थं परमशिवशक्त्याविष्करणार्थं नित्यानन्दयोगाभ्यासं करिष्ये. Please wash your hands. Om Apaupasprisya. And you can keep the udda in your side so you don't hit it or fall over it during the yoga. And now let's get up and start with the warm-ups. You can start with the right foot, lift your right foot to a 90-degree angle and start rotating it clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now the left leg. Move in a clockwise direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now let's move on to our knees. Bend your knees and start rotating them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now spread your legs wide apart and start rotating your hips and feel the stretch. Don't bend your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now spread your legs a bit more out and go down as much as you can. First bring your palms to the ground. And if you're able to do this comfortably, bring your forearms also and feel the stretch in your legs. Stay there for a moment. Now move towards the right side. Try touching your hip to the knee. Come to your left leg now. Okay, now let's come back up. And now let us stretch out our torso. So bring your hands to your chest level and start rotating side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's move on to our shoulders. Bring your hands to your shoulders and start rotating your shoulders. 1, 2, try touching your elbows in the front. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's move on to our head. Slowly move your head. Rotate your head, getting a stretch in your neck. Do it slowly, don't hurt yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now other direction. 1, 2. Okay, now we'll be entering into a very powerful meditation, the skeleton dance, that strengthens the bone structure of your life, the integrity in your life. So let's all now start visualize yourself as a skeleton, just pure bones, no muscles, no nothing, just pure bones. You're just a skeleton, and start shaking your body. Continue to hold the visualization like you're a skeleton.
पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंदा नित्यानंदा.
Now slowly relax. Start walking back and forth. Hold back, catch your breath. And now let's settle down. Be seated on your mats.
नित्यानंदाय नमः. అవతార
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
అర్ధనారీశ్వర
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
కరుణామయమూర్తి
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
కమలాలయ కీర్తి
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
ఆనంద పరశాంతి
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
ఆత్మాలయ కాంతి
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
హరిహర సాగర
నిత్యానంద
అమృత శేఖర
నిత్యానంద
ద్వైతాద్వైత
నిత్యానంద
త్రిగుణాదీత
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
పూరణ కారణ ఆగమదారణ పూరణ కారణ ఆగమదారణ ఆది గురునాథ శ్రీ చతుర్వేద సర్వ సంరక్షక సన్మార్గ నాయక మహాభావేన లింగోద్భవేన ఆనంద రూపేణ
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యానంద
త్యాగరాజశా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద
యోగ రూపేశా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద
జీవ జీవేశా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద
జ్ఞానదేవేశా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
నిత్యానందాయ నమః గురువే చరణం నిత్య గురువే చరణం 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 సప్తగిరీశ్వరా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వరా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
అరుణగిరీశ్వరా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
అరుణాచలేశ్వరా
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
శ్రీమాతృరూపేణ
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
పాండ్య మహాదేవి
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
మీనాక్షి అవతారా
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
అర్ధనారీశ్వరా
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
కరుణామయమూర్తి
నిత్యానంద
ಕಾರಣ ಆಗಮದಾರನ ಪೂರಣ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗಮದಾರನ ಆದಿಗುರುನಾಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಚತುರ್ವೇದ ಸರ್ವ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಕ ಸನ್ಮಾರ್ಗ ನಾಯಕ ಮಹಾಭಾವೇನ ಲಿಂಗೋದ್ಭವೇನ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪೇಣ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ 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 ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜಶ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಯೋಗ ರೂಪೇಶ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಜೀವ ಜೀವೇಶ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ
ಜ್ಞಾನ ದೇವೇಶ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯೇಶದ್ಗುರು ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ 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 ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯೇಶದ್ಗುರು ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ 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 ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯೇಶದ್ಗುರು ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ 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 ನಿತ್ಯನಿತೇಶ್ವರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ನಿತ್ಯೇಶದ್ಗುರು ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ.
And now, as we begin the Nithyananda Yoga, just want to give a quick disclaimer. The yoga is only for general wellness reasons and is only for educational purposes. And if you are having any health issues, please do not do the yoga. Please consult your doctor if you're having any issues. If you're feeling tired in between the yoga, please take rest and always listen to your body as when you're doing the yoga. And now let us enter into the yoga. Today we will be doing the Tritiya Vinyasa Krama, first part. The first asana is the Kshemasana, the auspicious pose. It comes from the Yoga Nirnaya of Sundaradeva, chapter 1, verse 1.18. And in this, Paramashiva says, Kshemam yasmin bhave deha tat kshemasana muchyate. The benefits of doing this asana, it helps in softening the upper back, the neck and the jaw, while the gentle chin rests, turns awareness inwards and quiet sensory overload. It grounds the breath into the belly, settling the vata and inviting the prana to become smooth and contained, supporting meditation, emotional readiness and deep nervous system rest.
Yes, Nithyanandam. So in this asana, we'll start by being seated comfortably with our legs crossed in Siddhasana. So we'll be resting our elbows gently on our thigh, and then we'll be interlacing our fingers in front of our chest, and then we're going to lean our chin softly on the top of the hands, all right? And we're going to be keeping the spine straight here. Make sure that your spine continues to remain straight and relaxed, and draw your shoulders down away from your ears, all right? So here we'll be continuing, we'll be performing the Samana Kumbhaka. So breathe in and out and visualize the fire going up from your Muladhara chakra to your spine, and maintain the Mula Bandha, where you'll be clenching your perineum, and gaze at your nose and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and this is Kshemasana. Here visualize yourself being auspiciously blessed and feel that your spine is rising tall with ease. Your heart is being opened and it is calm, and sense a gentle radiant energy flowing through you, filling every cell with peace and grace. Embrace this moment of perfect balance, receiving the blessings of higher consciousness. Now you can relax. Let's move to the next one.
The next asana is kubjasana, the humpback pose. This is revealed in the Sri Tattva Nidhi by Paramashiva, and the Shastra Pramana beautifully says, Nabhau simhanadam kom chayani esha kubjasanam tu. This asana stretches and strengthens the spine, relieving tension in the upper back and neck, while fostering calm inward focus, and it stimulates the heart center, enhancing openness and gentle surrender.
In this asana, we are going to remain seated with our legs crossed. So cross your legs, and we're going to keep the spine tall. Inhale deeply to lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, gently bend forward from your hips and draw your chin slowly towards your navel, and consciously extending your spine, and let your shoulders gently rise as you try and crack your upper spine, separating each vertebrae, curving your upper back like a humpback. Now you're gonna clasp your hands together in front of you and in the Shambhavi Mudra. So we're going to keep the eyes open and steady, gazing outwards while being aware and resting deeply within. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Here we're going to also be engaging the Jarandhara Bandha, where we're going to be tucking the chin to the chest, and continue to chant internally, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Gaze at your nose. And here visualize a gentle unfolding and release of tension in the upper back, like a hump gracefully curving outwards, and imagine the spine softly being rounded with controlled lengthening and relaxation. Allow the heart center to soften and the breath to flow freely as the chin draws softly towards the navel. Embody surrender and gentle inward focus. You can relax.
ఆత్మాలయ కాంతి
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యనితేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
హరిహర సాగర
నిత్యానంద
అమృత శేఖర
నిత్యానంద
ద్వైతాద్వైత
నిత్యానంద
త్రిగుణాదీత
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యనితేశ్వర.
The next asana is Jaganya Charana or Griva, the dynamic movement, the neck rotation. This is revealed in the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi in chapter 9 verse 15 to 17. Paramashiva says, Anuloma vidhanabhyam charanagama brahmo bhavet dashadacharana mukya jaganyanya smrita buddhi. This asana relaxes the neck muscles, increases cervical spine mobility, improves blood flow to the brain, reduces tension and stiffness, and calms the nervous system through gentle controlled neck circles.
In this asana, we are going to be sitting again on the mat, cross-legged, and now we're going to be gently dropping the chin towards the chest and begin the movement. So we're going to slowly and smoothly roll the neck in a full circular circle, moving ear to shoulder, back and the other side. Now keep your shoulders down and your neck muscles relaxed throughout the entire process to avoid tension. And here we are going to be engaging the Shambhavi Mudra, so keep your eyes open and steady, gazing outwards while being aware, resting deeply within. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And visualize the prana flowing freely through your neck, clearing the tightness, any tightness, and dissolving stiffness. And also see a golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Now you can relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next asana is again the Jaganya Charana or the Griva, the dynamic movement, the head tilts. This comes from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, chapter 9, verse 15. Anuloma vidhanabhyam charananga brahmo bhavet dashadha charana mukhya jaganyana smrita bhudhi. This asana stretches the front and back of the neck muscles, increasing cervical flexibility, reduces tension, promotes spinal alignment, and smooths the nervous system with smooth and mindful nods.
Continue to remain seated, and now we're going to be gently nod your chin downward towards your chest to stretch the back of your neck, and slowly lift your chin up towards the ceiling to stretch the front of your neck, and keep your shoulders relaxed and your movements smooth for spinal safety. Continue with the Shambhavi Mudra, Samana Kumbhaka, and engage your Mula Bandha. Look forward and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize the prana flowing freely through your neck, clearing any stiffness, dissolving any stiffness. And again, see the golden light flushing away the stagnant water, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Jaganya Charana Skandha, the dynamic movement, shoulder rotations, from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, chapter 9, verse 15 to 17. Anuloma vidhanabhyam charananga brahmo bhave dashadha charana mukhya jaganyana smrita bhudhi. This asana increases the shoulder joint mobility, strengthens stabilizers, improves circulation, releases tension and maintains relaxed posture with smooth controlled rotations.
And continue to remain seated in the same way. And now we're going to extend the arms out wide, and we're going to be rotating the shoulders in slow circles, making both small and large rotations in each direction. And keep your core gently engaged and your upper body relaxed as you are moving, and avoid hunching your shoulders or rotating too quickly, and maintain a controlled, steady movement. Continue with the Shambhavi Mudra. Keep your eyes open and steady, gazing outwards while being aware and resting deeply within. Maintain the Samana Kumbhaka. Visualize the fire going up to your stomach while breathing through your nose in and out. And lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize prana flowing freely through your shoulders, joints, ligaments and tendons, clearing stiffness, dissolving stiffness. And again, see the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Now you can relax. Next asana.
The next asana is Jaganya Charana, Manibandha, the dynamic wrist rotations. This is from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, chapter 9. Anuloma Vidanabhyam Charanagam Brahmo Bhave Dashadha Charana Mukya Jaganyana Smrita Buddhihi. In this asana, warms the wrist joints, improves mobility, increases circulation, reduces stiffness, maintains shoulder relaxation and promotes joint health through slow, controlled, tension-free movement.
And remain seated. Now we are going to be checking the hands. We're going to be clenching the hands into a fist, all right? And extend your arms out wide or in front of you, and rotate your wrist in large controlled circles to warm up the joints, and keep your elbows soft and avoid locking your elbows during the movement, and avoid rushing the circles or tensing your shoulders. Relax your shoulders and move slowly and smoothly. Continue with the Shambhavi Mudra. Engage, perform the Samana Kumbhaka, and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze straight. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And visualize again the prana flowing freely through every joint, every ligament and tendon, clearing stiffness, dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, and lubricating and strengthening each connection. Relax.
The next is Jaganya Charana, Anguli Mula, the dynamic movement, the finger flexion. This is from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, chapter 9. Anuloma Vidanabhyam Charanagam Brahmo Bhaved Dashada Charana Mukya Jaganyana Smrita Buddhihi. This asana stretches the fingers, increases hand flexibility, improves circulation, prevents stiffness and supports nerve and tendon health with calm, deliberate motion.
Now continue to remain seated, and now we are going to be stretching the fingers by pressing the hands with the fingertips pointing down and then pointing up away from you. And again, avoid moving too quickly or locking your shoulders, your elbows. Keep your movement slow and controlled. Engage the Shambhavi Mudra. Keep the eyes open and steady, gazing outwards while awareness rests deeply within. And continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Breathe in and out deeply. Visualize the flames rising up along your spine. Engage the Mula Bandha. Look forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize prana flowing freely through every joint, ligament and tendon, clearing stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection.
The next is the Karuna Samdigrahana, the dynamic movement squeezing wrists. This is from the Malla Purana, chapter 11. Bahu charana mavoktam charanagrahanam cha padasya samdigrahanam karasamdhistatevacha. This asana This asana enhances wrist joint mobility, increasing circulation, reduces tension and stiffness, stimulates nerve endings and supports joint health through gentle mindful massage.
Now we're going to remain seated in the same position, and now we're going to be clasping the wrists with the opposite hand and gently squeezing and massaging the inner joint and applying as much pressure as you can comfortably tolerate. All right, and continue with the Shambhavi Mudra and perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, look forward and chant in Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. And again visualize the prana flowing freely through your wrists, joint, clearing stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection.
The next is Chandrasana, the half moon pose. This is from the Yoga Chintamani. Chandraile satashrunu tadvat padachayam kritva sutalanyona samstitam chandram eva katitamiti. Doing this asana counters the forward head posture common in modern life. It strengthens willpower during golden light visualization and supports facilitation of upward moving energy, the Udana Vayu.
And here we're going to be continuing to remain seated. Now we are going to be placing one hand on the ground beside the hip, and then reach the opposite arm up and over the side. Lengthen through your raised arm to stretch the side body. Ground your bones, sitting bones evenly for stability, and avoid collapsing your chest by keeping it open towards the front. Alright, and we'll do the same on the other side as well. And continue with the Shambhavi Mudra. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We're going to be performing the Samana Kumbhaka and gaze forward. Again visualize prana flowing freely through the sides of your body here and clearing any stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection.
The next asana is the Jaganya Charana Anguli, the dynamic movement of toe and the toe flexions. This is from the Hatatattva Kaumudi, chapter 9. Angulo mavidanabhyam charananga brahmo bhave dashada charana mukya jaganyana smrita bhudihi. The benefits of doing this asana activates the foot muscles, improves toe flexibility and enhances circulation, supports balance and promotes grounding energy through deliberate toe movements.
Now we're going to be stretching the legs forward in front of you, and keep your legs straight and your spine tall and clench your toes slightly. Then extend and spread them wide to activate the foot muscles, and move your toes individually together to increase the flexibility and strength. Alright, now continue with the Shambhavi Mudra. Continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, look forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham while you're moving your toes, and visualize prana flowing freely through every joint, ligament and tendon in your feet, clearing the stiffness, the tightness and dissolving any stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection, as well as watch as mobility is restored, circulation improves and every joint feels open, supple and stable for effortless and pain-free function.
The next is the Jaganya Charana Gulpa, the dynamic movement ankle rotations. This is from the Hatha Kaumudi, chapter 9. Anuloma vidanabhyam charanagam brahmo bhave dasha charana mukhya jaganyana smrita bhudihi.
And the benefit of this asana is that it improves the ankle joint mobility, strengthens the surrounding muscles, increases circulation and protects the joints, supporting balance and fluid movement with gentle controlled rotation. We're going to continue to keep the legs extended in front of us. Now we are going to be lifting the feet slightly off the ground, and we're going to begin rotating the ankles in slow controlled circles. Make both small and large rotations in each direction to warm up the ankle joints, and keep your knees soft to avoid locking them to protect your joints. Continue with the Shambhavi Mudra, Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, look forward, gaze straight, and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Again, visualize the prana flowing freely through your ankle joints, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. And see the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection.
The next asana is Janu Samdhigrahana, squeezing the knee joints. This comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 11. Bahu charanama voktam charanagraham cha padasya samdigrahanam karasamdhistate cha. The benefits of doing this asana improves the knee joint mobility, increases circulation, relieves tension, supports joint lubrication, and promotes mindful connection with slow, gentle massage.
Now we're going to be sitting in a comfortable position, cross-legged, and now we're going to be clasping the knee with both the hands and gently squeezing and massaging the inner joint, applying as much pressure as you can comfortably tolerate, and visualize that prana is flowing freely through your knee joints, clearing the tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Now continue with the Shambhavi Mudra and the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The next is the Gulpa Samdigrahana, squeezing the ankle joints. This also comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 11. Bahu charanama voktam charanagraham cha padasyam digrahanam karasamdittate cha. This asana enhances ankle joint mobility, increases blood flow, reduces stiffness, boosts proprioception, and supports stable, balanced energy flow through careful massage.
Now we are going to continue, remain seated, and now we are going to be pressing the ankles. So we are going to be clasping our ankles with both the hands, and we are going to be gently squeezing and massaging the inner joints by applying as much pressure as you can comfortably tolerate. Visualize prana flowing freely through your ankle joints, clearing the stiffness, dissolving the stiffness and the tightness, and see the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue with the Shambhavi Mudra and perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The next is the Pada Samdigrahana, squeezing the feet joints. The pramana comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 11. Bahu charanama voktam charanagraham cha padasya samdigrahanam karasamdhistate cha. Doing this asana improves the foot joint mobility, increases circulation, relieves tension, stimulates proprioceptors, and supports ground energy with focused, gentle massage.
Remain seated in the same position. Now we are going to be clasping the foot with both the hands and gently squeezing and massaging the inner joints, and applying as much pressure as you can comfortably tolerate. Again, visualize prana flowing freely through your feet, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy and lubricating and strengthening each connection. And continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Engage the Shambhavi Mudra. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze forward and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The next is the Balanathasana, Lord of Strength posture. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS, NS 81. Balanathasana. Doing this asana deepens hip and groin flexibility while compressing abdominal organs to stimulate digestive fire, lengthens spine and engages shin muscles for grounding stability, calms mental fluctuations through focused breath, and fosters inner resilience with tall, unrounded posture.
Now we're going to be extending the legs forward. Extend your legs straight in front of you and keep your spine tall, and cross one foot on top of the other, hooking the top of the foot just above the toes, around the outside of the bottom foot. And now we're going to be pulling the hooked foot towards upward to engage the front part of the spine. Okay, and now keep your fingers interlocked between your thighs and at the groin area for a deep stretch, and maintain the length in your spine and avoid rounding your lower back. And now we're going to continue with the Shambhavi Mudra, perform the Samana Kumbhaka, and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Here you're going to visualize yourself as a Nata Yogi, forge through tapas, breath and hatha discipline. Your strength is sovereign and inward. Your spine is a living pillar, and as you breathe, mastery, stability and fearless power awaken, ruling your body and your mind. Relax.
The next asana is Bhalanatha Parshvantare, the same asana, the Balanathasana on the other side. This comes from the Niradaya Samhita MS. Balanathasana.
Yes, so keep your legs straight, extended in front of you. Now we're going to be switching the leg position on the other side, and again continue to clasp your hands in front of you near the groin area, and visualize yourself again as a Nata Yogi, forged through tapas, breath and hatha discipline. Your strength again is sovereign and inwards. Your spine is a living pillar. As you breathe, mastery, stability and fearless power awaken, ruling your body and your mind.
The next is Karpati Asana, the tattered pose, or the hand-bound pose. It comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Karpati Asana.
So now we're gonna so this asanas lengthen the hamstrings and calves with active toes, calms the mind through groin grounding and steady breath, and strengthens the spine with tall core engagement, and it fosters rooted stability via even sitting bones. And here now we are going to be extending our legs forward. Keep your legs extended straight out in front of you and your toes pointing outward, and bring your hands together in your groin region for grounding, and keep your spine tall and the core engaged, and avoid stress on your lower back. Maintain even pressure through your sitting bones for stability. Here we'll visualize yourself as something shaped through repeated use rather than force. Worn, smooth, functional and steady. Energy rises, visualize the energy rises naturally from the earth through you, settling into a calm, centered presence as awareness draws inwards at the core. And with the breath, so here we'll be performing the Samana Kumbhaka, and with the breath held gently, prana, visualize the prana circulating through the whole being, smoothing agitation and refining reception. Engage the Mula Bandha and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally, and engage the Shambhavi Mudra as well.
The next is the Mridu Parivritti, the soft rotations. This comes from the Trilkor, part 1, verse 9. Katim prasaryana ve hastangulam mridu bandhanam parivartayet. Doing this asana stimulates the foot rotations, improves ankle mobility, strengthens wrist stability through opposing hand pressure, enhances the neural coordination, increase joint lubrication and cultivate mindful upper limb control.
Now we're going to be extending the legs in front of us, and keep your spine tall, and simultaneously rotate your feet outwards and inwards to engage your ankle mobility. Now you're going to be pressing the backs of your hands together in front of your chest and the fingers pointing down, your elbows raised and high. So now we're going to be rotating the hands to open the palms up. Okay, so keep the wrists and the hands in contact and maintain a steady pressure by pressing the hands against each other throughout the movement. Here visualize that the prana is flowing freely through every joint, ligament and tendon, clearing stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Breathe in and out through your nose and visualize the fire going up along your spine. Engage the Shambhavi Mudra, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally.
The next is the Sharira Shuddhi Pravaha, the body purification flow. This comes from the Trulkor, part 1, verse 4. Sharira Ashuddhi Purvangam cha Panchendriya Dvaranam Marmastale Niyo Jayat Pada Prasharana Anguli Vikasa Sandhi Bala Samhitihi. Doing this asana gives a sharp inhalation, opens the chest and shoulders, powerfully exhaling contracts the body, releasing tension while activating the core, enhances circulation, energizing prana and fostering mental focus through controlled breath and movement.
So now we're going to continue to extend the legs in front of us, and now inhale. So rest your hands gently on your knees and inhale sharply, sweeping your arms straight up to open your chest and your shoulders. Okay, so we're going to be sweeping the arms chest high and pulling your elbows back. Okay, so inhale strongly, opening your fingers, your toes and shoulders as you are widening your eyes as well. Exhale fully, contracting your body strongly and releasing tension on the next inhale. Here you are going to be visualizing prana flowing freely through every joint, ligament and tendon, clearing stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka and perform the Shambhavi Mudra. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you are doing this asana and gaze forward.
The next asana is Samhrita Kutili Asana, the gathered coil seat. This comes from the Trul Core, part 1, verse 3. Samklista Padasanam Dridu Bahu Bandhanam Stilam. Doing this asana, the handshaking releases the wrist tension, improves circulation, reduces stiffness, relaxes shoulder girdle and supports nervous system, calming through rhythmic controlled motion.
So now we're going to start by being seated with our knees bent and the feet flat on the ground and the spine tall for support. Now we're going to bring the hands to the sides, relaxing your wrists and fingers comfortably, and gently shake your hands, loosening your wrists and releasing all the tension. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Avoid tensing your arms or shoulders while shaking your hands rapidly but smoothly. Alright. Now here visualize prana flowing freely through your wrists, joint, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. We'll continue with the Samana Kumbhaka and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Perform the Shambhavi Mudra and gaze forward and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally.
The next is the Samhriti Kutilasana, Parshvantari, gathering the coil seat repeated. This comes from the Tril Core. Samklista Padasanam Drida Bahu Bandhanam Stitilam.
Yes. So now again we're going to keep the knees bent and the feet flat on the ground. Again your spine will be tall for support. And now we're going to be lifting the feet slightly off the ground, keeping the knees bent and the core engaged. Gently shake your ankle joints to release the tension and increasing the mobility. So keep your ankles soft and relaxed while maintaining the breath. So visualize the prana flowing freely through your ankle joints, clearing tightness and dissolving the stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and continue to perform the Shambhavi Mudra as well. Gaze forward, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The next is the Urdhva Kati Pradhana, the upward waist placement. This comes from the Trul Core, part 1, verse 7. Sankuchita Katim Prishtordhvam Prerayet. While drawing the knees inwards and rotating hips improves the joint mobility and loosens the deep stabilizers, enhances circulation to pelvic organs, releases muscular tension and supports balanced breath with spinal alignment.
So here now we are going to be extending. We're going to be seated with the legs extended straight in front of us and keep your spine tall and bend one knee, drawing it inward towards your chest while you're going to be gently pushing it back beyond your armpit to open up the joints deeply. Now you're going to be rotating the bent knee slowly and smoothly to loosen the hip joint and increase the mobility. Make sure that you're keeping your shoulders relaxed and your spine long throughout the movement. Okay, visualize the prana flowing freely through your hip joints, clearing the stiffness and dissolving the stiffness, and see the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka, the Shambhavi Mudra. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Urdhva Pradhana Parshvantare, at the upward waist placement repeated on the other side. It comes from the Trul core.
So again, now we'll continue the same asana on the other side. So now you're going to be bringing the other legs towards your chest, and you're going to be moving the raised knee in a circular motion, and push your knee outward as well to give a deep stretch in your hip joints. Again, visualize the prana flowing freely through your hip joints, clearing the tightness and dissolving the tightness, and see the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Very good. You can relax, and now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Gala Prananyasaha, the throat essence placement. This comes from the Trul core, part 1, verse 6. Sputasthira mrudutaya shirsadgala marge pranarasam nikshipet. Doing this asana, the side stretches with interlaced fingers, strengthens the obliques and opens the ribcage, enhances the thorax spine flexibility, activates the core and stimulates pranic flow while maintaining spinal integrity.
Okay, so now here we're going to start by keeping the spine tall. So we're going to come to a kneeling position here. Come to a kneeling position and keep your spine tall and your knees hip wide apart for stability. Okay, so now interlace your fingers and lift your arms above. Lift your arms above overhead. Keep your elbows wide and active. Lean from side to side, allowing your torso to stretch while maintaining a straight spine. Now we're going to incorporate gentle twisting as well from side to side within the range of your range of motion, and keep the movement controlled and your spine alignment intact. So visualize prana flowing freely through your sides, the sides of your body, clearing the stiffness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. So continue to perform this Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, as well as engage the Shambhavi Mudra, keeping your eyes open and steady, gazing outwards while awareness rests deeply within. So now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Shuddha Prana Pravaha, the breath purification flow. This asana comes from the Trul core. Vayum Shuddhim Praveshesha Dirgham Balam Dharayitva Nighatayet.
So this asana, while we are holding the opposite elbows overhead, it's going to lengthen the shoulders and the sides, and it improves the thoracic extension, stabilizes the core and prevents lumbar compression, and encourages mindful breath and posture. Now come to a standing position. Let us all come to a standing position. And we're going to start with the hip wide. We're going to stretch the. So we're going to come to a standing position where the feet is hip wide apart and the spine is straight for a strong alignment. Now lift your arms overhead and hold each opposite elbow with your hands. Keep your shoulders relaxed and arms active without lifting your shoulders. So avoid lifting your shoulders here. And continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Again you are going to visualize prana flowing freely through the sides of your body, clearing any tightness, dissolving any stiffness. Visualize the golden light, flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection.
The next asana is the Skanda Parivrittihi, the shoulder spins. The pramana comes from the trill core. Puranam dirgam nabhita pakvam matra kampanam.
This asana is with the shoulder rotation. It is going to increase the scapular mobility and it improves the circulation, relax tension, and also activate, stabilizes and support the upper body fluidity with mindful co-engagement. So here in this asana, we're going to come to a standing position. And with your feet hip wide apart and your spine tall for balance, bend your elbows to place your fingers firmly on your shoulders. And now we're going to rotate the shoulders in both small and large circles, moving in each direction. We're going to keep the core gently engaged and the upper body relaxed throughout the movement. Visualize the prana flowing freely through your shoulder joints, ligament, tendon, clearing any stiffness in your body and dissolving any stiffness as well. So lock your perineum. You can continue doing and lock your perineum, maintain the Samana Kumbhaka, and now we can relax and move to the next asana.
The next asana is the Jaganya Karana Prishtim, the dynamic movement spinal rotations. This comes from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi. Anuloma Vidanabhyam Charananga Brahmo Bhave Dasha Dacharana Mukhya Jaganyana Smrita Bhudihi.
So here in this asana, now we are going to come to a standing position again, and keep your feet hip wide apart with your spine tall for balance, and place your hands on your hips and let them rest by your side naturally for comfort. Now you're going to slowly rotate the upper body to one side, and keeping the hip stable facing forward, and engage your core and lengthen your spine to maintain the control during the twist. Now visualize prana flowing freely through the sides of your body, clearing any tightness, any stiffness in your body. Visualize the golden light flushing all the tightness and the stiffness. Again, we're going to be continuing with the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. And this asana is going to, this asana enhances the stable hips and it increases the spinal rotational mobility. It strengthens the core, open up the chest, balance pranic flow and calm the nervous system through steady breath and awareness. Now you can relax. We'll move to the next asana.
The next is the Jaganya Charana Katti, the dynamic movement hip rotations. This comes from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi. Anuloma Vidanabhyam Charananga Brahmo Bhave Dashada Charana Mukya Jaganyana Smrita Bhudihi.
Okay, so now we're going to come to a standing position once again. Come to a standing position, and now we are going to be placing the hands firmly on the hip to support the movement. Now slowly rotate your hips in a controlled circular motion, moving in both the clockwise and counterclockwise directions. Keep your knees soft and your core engaged to protect your lower back. Visualize prana flowing freely through your hip joints, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Now continue to engage the Mula Bandha, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and perform the Samana Kumbhaka. And this asana is going to help with, it's going to be helping with detoxification and it cultivates patience during challenging, and it also holds the inner radiance as well, and it supports connection with earth for elemental balance. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is Jaganya Charana Janu, the dynamic movement knee rotations. This comes from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, chapter 9. Anuloma Vidanabhyam Charanagam Brahmo Bhave Dashada Charana Mukya Jaganyana Smrita Bhudihi.
Now again come to a standing position on your mat. And now you're going to be bending your knees slightly. Place your hands on your knees. Now you're going to be rotating your knees in a slow, controlled circular motion in both directions. This asana is going to help with, circulation and lymphatic flow. It improves the circulation and it also builds confidence through physical mastery, and envisioning inner radiance nurtures the warrior spirit within. So continue with the asana, visualize, continue to engage the Mula Bandha, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Again visualize the prana flowing freely through your knee joints, clearing stiffness and dissolving stiffness.
The next asana is the Shringari Pavasana, the graceful foot pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS, NS 28, Shringara Pavasana.
Good. Now come again to a standing position, and now we are going to be placing the hands in front of us in the Anjali Mudra, and now we are going to be, so make sure that your spine is tall, and we're going to be standing on one foot only, okay, and the opposite leg will be slightly bent behind you and off the ground. So keep balancing in this position while avoid locking the knees here, and bring your hands again in the Anjali Mudra in front of you, your palms together in front of you. Engage your core gently and steady your hips and gaze forward for focus, and make sure that you are maintaining even weight throughout the asana for stability. Visualize your foundation adorned with conscious grace. Each foot moves like a sacred ornament, steady yet elegant and strengthened. Visualize that your foot is strengthening itself into beauty, balance and poise, mastering flowing upward through your being. Engage the Mula Bandha and continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And this asana helps with, so this asana is going to help with build the ankle and foot strength, and it also stabilizes the hip and the core, and it calms the mind fluctuations through steady gaze as well. So now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Shringari Pavasana Parshvantare. On the other side, it comes from the Naradiya Samhita, MS. Shringari Pavasana.
Okay, now we'll be again performing the same asana on the other side. So you can lift your other foot now and place your hands in the Anjali Mudra in front of you. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Sthirangusthasana, the steady big toe pose. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina MS, YJ98. Sthirangusthasana.
Okay, now come to a standing position once again. And stand tall with your feet grounded beneath you. Now let your hands rest naturally by your side and soften your shoulders away from your ears and lengthen through your spine and lift gently through the crown of your head. So make sure that you're maintaining a steady breath and a calm, balanced presence as you hold this posture. Visualize that your big toes, so you're going to be standing on your toes as well, and visualize that your big toes as two solid anchors gripping the earth, making your stance unmovable. So continue with the Samana Kumbhaka, the Shambhavi Mudra. Engage your Mooladhara Chakra. Lock your perineum in the Mooladhara and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. So this asana grounds yourself through the feet and legs while lengthening the spine into quiet, effortless lift. And it also steadies the nervous system with smooth breath and balances the vata through rooted presence and clear, dignified awareness. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Varapada Dhyanasana, the blessed auspicious feet pose. This comes from the Mallapurana, chapter 19, verse 15. Kakshayo padasandhischa dharanam kata buddhaha udharas skandhayoschaiva dharanam varapadhayoho.
Okay. Now again come to a standing position. Come to a standing position. Now we're gonna extend the legs and the feet. We're gonna be keeping the feet flat on the ground for stability. Now we're gonna slowly rise onto the tips of the toes to engage the calves and the feet. Rotate intentionally into pronation onto the side of your heels, and next you're going to rotate into supination onto the side, onto the inside of your feet, okay, and return onto your toes and repeating this controlled foot movements. Make circular rotation clockwise as well as anti-clockwise to increase the overall foot mobility and strength. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka and visualize prana flowing freely through your feet, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy. And this asana is going to strengthen your foot muscles. And it's going to enhance the ankle stability and improves proprioception. It also promotes balanced weight distribution and natural shock absorption, reducing increased risks. Now, you can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Kuttana Trayasana, the 3 type strike pose. This comes from the Sri Tattvanidhi, verse 120. Bahu tadyet uru parshvakam chadhikam mushti bahu parshnibihi bhumau kuttana trayasanam idam trividanam iti.
Okay, now in this asana, we're going to come again to a standing position. Come to a standing position, and now we're going to spread the feet hip wide apart. Keep the spine straight and make a gentle fist with your hands and keep your wrists aligned and strong. Now take a deep breath in, gathering your inner strength, and on the exhalation, strike your arms firmly against the thigh with your fist, and then follow by striking the side of your torso, and then your arms, and then using your arms, using the controlled force but avoiding injury. Okay, so keep your core engaged and your shoulders relaxed. Continue to lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally and perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Here you are going to visualize the prana flowing freely through your feet, clearing the stiffness and dissolving the stiffness. This asana, the benefit of this asana is that it is going to increase the muscle activation and strength, and it also improves the wrist and joint stability by keeping the wrist in a neutral position. It also enhances blood circulation and it strengthens the bone. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Punaruttanasana, the repeated rising pose. This comes from the Malapurana, chapter 11, verse 20. Punaschaivatu janubhyam tale hasta vidaranam punaruttastata virati yata shakta sambhasayet.
Now in this asana, we are going to be sitting on our toes. Yeah, so we're going to be keeping the feet shoulder width apart, and here we are going to be engaging the core and keeping the chest lifted, and slowly bend your knees and lower your hips down. Now you're going to end back into a squatting position. Okay, so keep your spine long and gaze forward, and as you are lowering, press your feet gently outward to align your toes. Rise up again and down again, and maintain a steady rhythmic breathing throughout. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and visualize prana flowing through your legs, clearing stiffness and dissolving any tightness and stiffness in your body. Here it is going to enhance the lower body strength and mobility while improving the joint health and functional endurance. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Balavat Janu Nipatana, the forceful knee drop. It comes from the Trill Core, part 1, verse 13. Nihasvasya bhalavad nipatya balam grihitva nighatayet.
Yes. Now in this asana, we're going to come to our knees and So let us come to our knees and keep your hip wide apart and your spine straight. Now you're gonna be bringing your hands to hold each opposite elbow in front of your chest, and now you're gonna be pressing the power downwards through your knees and into the ground. Keep your spine tall and your core engaged to maintain the strength. Continue with the Samana Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and visualize prana flowing freely through every joints, ligament and tendon, clearing stiffness and dissolving the stiffness in the body. And doing this asana is going to enhance circulation in the pelvic and the leg while calming any restlessness throughout and through inner radiance visualization. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Udara Karasana, the abdominal stretch pose. This comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 8, verse 21. Udara asanamiti evam kathitam dvara saptadha chatvarotra bhavanti eva mahyashrama gunairyutaha.
Okay. So now we're gonna, in this asana, we're gonna come to a seated position. Come to a seated position, and with one knee bent and the foot flat on the ground with the knee raised. Now the opposite leg will be bent backwards, resting the foot behind you on the ground. And here we're gonna place the hands on each respective knees. We're gonna be placing the hands on each respective knees, and inhale to lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, gently twist your upper body towards the raised knee. Now keep your hands steady on the knees to guide with the twist and maintain a tall spine. Visualize a golden flame steadily burning at your navel, radiating strength and unwavering willpower. And now continue to perform the Samana Kumbhaka. Here we'll be performing the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, where you'll be inhaling deeply and holding your breath while withdrawing your senses. Bring your attention inwards as you hold as long as you can comfortably, and exhale slowly, and we'll be repeating this. Engage your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And this mantra is going to release, it is going to release the neck and shoulder tension and silencing the mental chatter during the golden light visualization. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Udara Karsanasana, Parshvantare, the abdominal stretch pose on the other side. This comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 8, verse 21. Udara asanamitevam kathitam dvara saptadha chatvarotra bhavanti eva mahayashrama gunairyutaha. Okay, so now we're going to be repeating the same asana on the other side. So just switch your leg position, place your hands on the respective knees and twist towards the raised knee. And again, visualize a golden flame steadily burning at your navel, radiating strength and unwavering willpower. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana. The next is Nageshasana, the Lord of Serpents pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita NS 75. Nageshasana.
Now in this asana, we are going to be starting with a seated position. So now bend your knees, bring your feet flat on the ground with your knees close to your chest. Now take your right arm and thread it through both the legs. Then wrap your left arm around the raised knee and clasp your hands together. Try to clasp your hands together and maintain a tall spine and gently hug, a gentle hug to deepen the embrace. So now visualize the serpent force coiling calmly within you, gathering the scattered energy towards the center without force, and continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze at your nose and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And doing this asana is going to help balancing the abdominal organs, and it also stimulates the digestive fire, releases tension in the hips and lower back for fluid mobility. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Shasana Parshvantari, the Lord of Serpents pose on the other side. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita, MS 75, Shasana.
Okay, now again come to the same position. Your feet are flat on the ground, knees raised, and now you're going to be threading the other hand beneath through your foot, and hold on to clasp your hands in front of you. So again visualize the serpent force coiling calmly within you, gathering the scattered energy towards the center without any force. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, engage your perineum in the Mula Bandha, and here we'll also be performing the Parashu Mudra, which basically placing the palm upon the palm and interlacing the fingers firmly, forming the shape of an X. Gaze at your nose, relax. Now let's move to the next asana.
The next is Bhagna Patrasana, the broken vessel pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita, Bhagna Patrasana.
Okay, now we're going to be coming to a seated position. Place your knees on the ground and make sure that your legs are together here, both feet touching and the knees bent wide apart. Now place your hands on your respective knees for support. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and exhale as you lean for your forehead all the way down towards your knees. Now you're going to be keeping your seating bones grounded and avoiding forcing the stretch here. Visualize your body as a vessel that has released its rigid form, and here we're going to be continuing to perform the Pratyahara Kumbhaka and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. You're going to be gazing downwards. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and this asana is going to deepen the inner groin and the hip flexibility, stimulating abdominal organ to ignite the digestive fire, and it calms the nervous system throughout. And yes, now you can relax. Let us enter into the next asana.
The next is the Virasana Chatwari, the hero pose 4. This comes from Yogasana Jaina MS, Virasana.
Yes. Now let us extend the foot forward. You're going to extend the foot forward, and now you're going to be make sure that your spine is straight, and place your hands on the ground behind you with your fingers pointing slightly outwards to support your chest. Now you're going to be bending the opposite knee and placing the outside edge of that ankle onto the thigh just above the knee, okay, and just above the knee of the extended leg, and keep your extended leg active. Visualize yourself as a seasoned warrior who stays relaxed under pressure, hips steady, breath steady, mind steady. With each inhale, feel the virya, the inner strength, rise up with the spine and expand the chest as confidence, not aggression. So continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. This asana, it opens the deep outer hip, and it also open up the gluteal line of the bent leg while keeping the extended leg active. So now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Vamardha Padasana, the left half foot pose. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina MS. Vamardha Padasana.
Okay, now we're going to start by being seated with the knee bent and the feet flat on the ground, and keep your spine tall and place both hands on the ground behind you for support. And now you're going to be lifting one foot and placing the outside of the ankle just below the opposite knee, allowing the bent leg to open gently. Visualize the hip as a tight foot, not being patiently untied, not forced. And continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight, and continue to chant the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. And now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Hrijanusanam Yogasana, the heart knee connection pose. This comes from the Sri Tattvanidhi, verse 117. Ekasya parshve urasijanum nidhaya anyatra gulpam stapayitva hastena dharayet Hrijanu samyogasanam idam hridayajanu melanam.
Now continue to remain seated, and now we're going to be keeping one leg at the perineum and lifting the other leg up. Hold on to the knee, to the leg in front of you. Now visualize a radiant warm bridge of energy connecting your heart center to your bent knee, symbolizing the union of love and grounded stability. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Tushakayasana, the hust pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita. Tushakayasana.
Okay. So here we'll remain seated on the ground, and now we're going to be extending both the legs in front of us, and we're going to be raising one knee. Raise one knee, and you're going to be bending one knee and bring the heel as close to the groin region as possible. Bring your palm together in front of your chest in the Namaskara Mudra, and visualize yourself seated as the grain after husking, stripped of all but what is necessary and true. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward, gaze straight and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we'll move to the next asana.
The next is Vakrasana Dve, the twisted pose 2. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina. Vakrasana.
Good. Now we'll remain in the same position, and now the only difference is that we are going to be twisting. We are going to be placing the one hand so we're going to be keeping the arm across the body and steady threading in between your torso and the right thigh to place your hand onto the right foot. Okay, so visualize the spine tall, like a tall flexible rope being rung out from the center, and all the old tensions, all the heaviness is squeezed free without strain. Continue with this Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze to the side. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The next is the Viparita Ardha Matsyendrasana, the inverted half lord of fish's pose. This comes from the Yogi Nirnaya of Sundaradeva. Viparita Damatyendrasanam nama padamekam udvam kritva aparam januni nyasya parshve shiro niveshayet.
Very good. Now remain seated on the mat and extend your feet in front of you. And now we are going to be crossing the other foot, 1 foot over. Make the knee will be raised, but cross the foot of the raised knee over the other leg. And now you're going to be placing the hand behind you. Place one hand behind you, and the other hand will be, you're going to be twisting your body and opening up your chest towards the back, and keep your spine straight. You're going to be with the other hand, you're going to be holding the foot of the raised knee, and visualize yourself as Matsyendra, the great yogi and lord of the fishes, seated in serenity, in serene mastery of inner balance. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Very good. Now you can relax. The next is the Sankhasana Purvanga, the conch pose preliminary. This comes from the Trill Core, part 2, verse 9. Padam prasarya param kunchit yitva dakshina hastona te purayet rechakena parshve parinamya padatalam grihinat. Good. Now remain seated, extend both your legs in front of you. Now you're going to be placing the opposite foot on the upper inner thigh of the extended leg. And now you're going to be with your hand, you're going to be twisting the body, wrapping the hand around your back and holding on to the leg that is on your thigh. And with the other hand, you're going to be holding on to the foot in front of you. So here you're going to visualize a luminous conch shell spiring inward at your heart, and its pearly form radiating purity and divine light. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze to the side and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now you can relax. We'll move to the next asana. The next is Sankhasana, the conch pose on the other side, Parshvantare. This comes from the Trill Core, part 2, verse 7. Padaikam prasarthairya anyam kunchayitva dakshina hastano purayet rechakena parshve parinamya padatalam grihinayat. Good. Now you're going to be bringing the other foot on your thigh and you're gonna be wrapping the one hand around your back. Hold on to the foot that is on your thigh, and with the other hand you're gonna be holding on to the foot that is extended in front of you, and gaze to the side, and continue to lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is the Vamasiddhasana, the accomplished pose to the left. The pramana for this comes from the Yogasana Jaina MS, Vamasiddhasana.
And in this asana, we are gonna start again with being in a seated position, and here extend your right leg out straight, and while keep the left foot at the perineum. Make sure that your spine is tall, your chest is upright, and interlace your fingers at the navel center. Here you're going to visualize prana flowing freely through your legs, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. See the golden light flushing away the stagnant energy, lubricating and strengthening each connection. Continue to perform the Pratyahara Kumbhaka and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze at the tip of your nose. Good. You can relax. Now let's move to the next asana.
The next is Sankhahasana, Uttaranga, the conch pose progression. This comes from the Trill Core, part 2, verse 10. Ubhau baho parivartya prasaritam padam prasarayet prasarita parshve niyata bandena vrittim kritva shaktim pravartayet.
Okay, now we'll now be seated with the, yes. So now we'll be seated with the right foot placed at the perineum, and the left leg will be extended. So make sure that the left leg is extended and the right foot is at the perineum. So bring your right arm across your body to reach and hold the left foot. And at the same time, you're going to extend your left hand to hold on to the left foot as well. And visualize a luminous conch shell spiring inwards at your heart, its pearly foam radiating purity and divine light. Continue to perform the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze upward. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. You can relax. Now let's move to the next asana.
The next is Dandasana Dve, the staff pose 2. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali, chapter 3, verse 9. Dandapashvam cha sahajam bandapindam mayurakam ekapadmayuram cha san mayuram ihochyate.
Okay, now you're going to be sitting with both your feet together extended in front of you, and now you're going to be interlacing your fingers in the Parashu Mudra and place your fingers at your navel center. Keep your spine straight and visualize yourself as a strong wooden staff, solid, durable and unbreakable. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze at your nose and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now you can relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next is Virasana Chatvari Parshvantare, the hero pose 4 on the other side. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina, Virasana.
Okay, so now again we're going to start with extending the foot straight in front of us, and now we're going to be placing the other foot onto the thigh. And we're going to be placing the hands flat on the ground, the toes pointing backwards. And here visualize yourself building mastery through consistency. Inhale and feel virya, inner strength, rise up the spine as a steady confidence. And continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze straight. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Dakshinardha Padasana, the right half foot pose on the other side. This comes from Yogasana Jaina MS. Dakshina Ardha Padasana.
Good. Now we're going to be repeating this asana on the other side, where you're going to be placing, bend your knees, both the knees will be pointing to the sky, and you're going to be placing one foot on top of the knee, and then the hands will be flat on the ground behind you, and your fingers will be pointing outwards. And visualize, here you're going to visualize the side hip as a congested pocket being cleared, space returning, pressure leaving, circulation improving. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze forward and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Hrijjanusanam, Hrijju Samyogasana Parshvantare, the heart-knee connection pose on the other side. This comes from the Sri Tattva Nidhi, verse 117. Ekasya parshve urasi janum nidaya anyatra gulpam स्थापयित्वा हस्तेन धारयेत् हृजानु संयोगासनम idam hridaya janumelanam.
Okay. Now we're going to be sitting on the ground, and we're going to be placing one foot to the perineum and raising the other leg towards you as close to your chest as possible. Hold on to the raised leg with both the hands and visualize a radiant warm bridge of energy connecting your heart center to your bent knee, symbolizing the union of love, grounded stability. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Very good. Now you can relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next is the Tusakayasana Parshvantare, the hust pose on the other side. This comes from the Naragya Samhita. Tuskayasana.
Good. Now extend both your legs in front of you and raise one knee. Raise one knee. And now you're going to be placing your palms together in front of your chest in the Namaskara Mudra. And visualize yourself Okay, so keep your hands in the Namaskara Mudra in front of you and visualize yourself seated as the grain after husking, outer effort failing away to have only what is necessary and true. Now continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
పరశాంతి
నిత్యానంద నిత్యానంద
ఆత్మాలయ కాంతి
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యనికేశ్వర నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
హరిహర సాగర
నిత్యానంద
అమృత శేఖర
నిత్యానంద
ద్వైతాద్వైత
నిత్యానంద
త్రిగుణాతీత
నిత్యానంద 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 నిత్యనికేశ్వర నిత్యానంద నిత్య సద్గురు నిత్యానంద
The next is the Vakrasana Dvip on the Parshvantari, the twisted pose on the other side. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina, Vakrasana.
Now let us again sit with both your legs extended in front of you and raise one knee and place the foot of the raised knee on the inside of the other leg. And now you're going to be taking your hand and wrapping your hand around the raised knee and placing the holding on to the ankle, and the other hand will be behind you, the fingers pointing behind, pointing outwards. Visualize the wringing out of a wet cloth, stagnation and mental heaviness is squeezed out, clarity left behind, and inhale and feel the prana lift up the spine as alert awareness. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. You're going to lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze to the side and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax, and now let's move to the next asana.
The next is the Viparita Ardha Matsyendrasana, Parshvantari, the inverted half Lord of Fishes pose on the other side. This comes from the Yoga Nirmaya of Sundaradeva. Viparita Ardha Matsyendrasanam Namapadamekam Udvam Kritva Aparam Januninyasya Parshve Shiro Niveshayet.
Now extend both your legs in front of you. Extend both your legs in front of you. And now you're going to cross the other leg over the extended leg, and the foot will be flat on the ground, and take the arm opposite the raised knee and extend it over and across. Okay? Extend it over and across. And now you're going to press against the knee while keeping the arm straight and reach out towards the outside shin of the extended leg with this arm. Now you're going to be placing the other hand back flat on the ground, and for balance, twist your body, opening up the chest. Visualize yourself as Matsyendra, the great yogi and lord of the fishes, seated in serene mastery of inner balance. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. You can relax. Now let's move to the next asana.
The next is the Sankhasana Purvanga Parshvantari, the conch preliminary on the other side. This comes from the Trilkor, part 2, verse 9. Padam prasarya param kunchayitva dakshina hastona te purayet rechakena parshve parinam vyapadatalam grihinayat.
Now extend both your legs in front of you, and now place one foot onto your thigh above the knee, and now you're going to be twisting the hand. You're going to be twisting the opposite hand around behind your back and holding on to the foot that is placed on your thigh, and with the other hand you're going to be holding on to the extended leg. Now visualize a luminous conch shell spiraling inward at your heart, and its pearly foam radiating purity and divine light. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze to the side. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Sankhasana, the conch pose, repeated on the other side. This comes from the Trill Core, part 2, verse 7.8. Padaikam prasaritraya anyam kunchayitva dakshina hastona tau purayet rechakena parshva parinamya padatalam grihinayat.
Okay, now extend both your legs in front of you. So you're going to be keeping one leg extended straight out in front of you, and you're going to be placing the opposite foot on the upper inner thigh of the extended leg. Now you're going to be creating a bent leg position. For example, if the left side of the leg is extended, you're going to be extending if your left side of the leg is extended, you're going to be extending your left arm forward to reach the foot, and you're going to be holding on the foot of the extended left leg, and you're going to now be wrapping your right arm around your back and reaching towards the foot of the bent right leg. Now you're going to be keeping your spine tall as you gently twist your upper body. Visualize a luminous conch shell spiraling inwards at your heart, and continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze at your third eye.
Repeat it. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina MS, Dakshina Siddhasana.
Okay, now you're going to be extending your legs to the side. Extend your legs to the side and bring the other foot to the perineum. And now you're going to be placing your hands in the Parashu Mudra. So interlace your fingers and place them firmly at your navel center. And visualize prana flowing freely through your legs, clearing tightness and dissolving stiffness. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is the Sankhahasana Uttaranga Parshvantare, the conch pose progression on the other side. This comes from the Truth Core, part 2, verse 10. Ubhau baho parivartaye prasaritam padam prasarayet prasarita parshve niyata bandena vrittim kritva shaktim pravartayet.
Okay, now you're going to be seated with your right foot placed at the perineum, and extend your left leg straight in front of you. Extend your left leg straight in front of you. Now you're going to be placing your right arm across the body to reach and hold to the left foot. And now at the same time, you're going to be extending your left hand to hold on to the left foot as well. So creating a firm grip. So now open up your chest sideways and towards the outside of the straight left leg, strengthening your spine. Visualize a luminous conch shell spiraling inwards at your heart, and engage the Pratyahara, perform the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha and gaze upwards. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Phanaguptasanam, the hooded serpent pose. This comes from the Malla chapter 6, verse 22. Dvijasanam ape yatra kukutasanam uttamam Phanaguptasanam chaiva garudasanam evacha.
Okay, now we're going to come seated with the feet together. So now you're going to be bringing your feet together in front of you and hold on to your feet gently with your hands. Keep your spine long as you are inhaling, and as you are exhaling, lean forward and down from your hips, allowing your chest to reach forward towards the ground. So you're going to lower your forehead towards the feet to deepen the stretch, and keep your legs extended and engaged, but avoid locking your knees. And here you're going to be visualizing yourself as the head of a majestic hooded serpent. And here we'll be performing the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally through your nose and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze at the tip of your nose. Relax, rise up, and now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Avagathasana, the impact pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Avaghatasana.
Okay, now we'll be continuing to maintain the same feet position. Make sure that your feet are together. And now we are going to slowly lean forward and down, bringing the forehead all the way to the ground with the heels extended further away from your head this time. Now you're going to be bringing your palms together and straighten your arms above your head along the ground. You're going to be keeping your arms straight and keep your spine long as well. So visualize your body meeting the earth and with complete acceptance. See that all the resistance are dissolving and the energy to flow outward while the spine lengthen inwards. Here we'll be performing the Anjali Mudra. So you'll be keeping your palms together in front of you while extending, and we'll be continue to perform the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Good. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is the Guni Harshasana, the joyful qualities pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Guni Harshasana.
Okay, now here in this asana, continue to be seated with the sides of your feet together, with the soles of your feet together, and now place your hands around the feet. Lift and pull your legs up towards your head, keeping the knees bent outwards, and hold the position with a gentle hug to deepen the stretch. You're going to be maintaining a tall spine. Avoid rounding your lower back. Keep it straight. Visualize yourself in the space of sheer joy. And here you will be interlacing your fingers while you're holding the feet in the Parashu Mudra, and continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze at the tip of your nose and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now you can relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next asana is the Achaleshwara Asana, the Lord of the immovable pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Achaleshwara.
Okay, so now again remain seated on your mat and bring the feet, the soles of your feet together. Now we are going to be bringing the hands. We're going to be bringing the hands below the feet and holding on to the feet. We're going to be bringing the hands below the legs, holding on to the feet. And here we're going to be keeping the spine straight. Continue with this Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally. And lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Here visualize yourself as the unmoving center. The body gathers inwards, yet nothing within you wavers. And here we'll be gazing straight. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Now you can relax and let's move to the next asana.
The next is the Chandragarbhasana, the moon womb pose. This comes from the Siddhi Kunjika Tantra MS, chapter 8, verse 9. Parshvayor dvaukaro-nyasya sanaipadau ronyaset nimilata kashasvasha marutam chandranadhyam chalayet.
Very good. Now here we'll remain seated on the ground and we're going to be again keeping the soles of the feet together. And now we're going to be bringing the feet towards the chest. So we're going to be holding again, bring your legs underneath your legs, hold on to the feet, and now we're going to be bringing it towards the chest. So here we are going to be visualizing a glowing full moon cradled within the sanctuary of your inner womb space. And continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. And in this asana you are going to be looking straight. Relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next is Garbhasana, the womb embryo pose. This comes from the Yoga Nirnaya of Sundaradeva. Garbhasanam nama padau shirasi samstapya hastau chorun yugme badhva nabhim drishtam cha darin garbhavet tishte.
Okay, now remain seated on your mat and again bring the soles of your feet together and your hands inserted below your feet. Now you're going to be extending, you're going to be raising your legs above your head. Visualize yourself as a luminous embryo cradled within the cosmic womb, surrounded by a sphere of golden light. And continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. In this asana, you are going to be gazing at the tip of your nose. Very good. Relax.
The next is Ratnamasana Purvanga, the jewel pose preliminary. This comes from the Trill Core, part 7, verse 19. Gulbha Yugme Bujja Veshtya Karamudram Samunnayet Modni Stapya Kramopetya Vyamamam Samacharet.
Good. Now remain seated in the same position and bring the soles of your feet together. And now you are going to be wrapping both your arms around the ankles once again. And you are going to be bringing your hands, your feet and your hands gently towards the crown of your head. And while you are holding on to this position, you're going to engage the core and visualize a radiant jewel deep within your core, flawless and self-luminous, radiating light in all the direction. Continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze straight. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next is Ratnamasana, the jewel pose. This comes from the Trill Core, part 7, verse 17. Chakra grante padatale samameva samyojya nihashvasa vegena gulpau shirorandhare samurkshipe.
Good. Now again remain seated on the ground and we are going to now again bring the soles of the feet together and hold on to your feet with both the hands and extend the legs. Extend the legs above your head. Now we are going to be creating a full and a half breath circle here, and we're going to be tensing the entire body in an empty lock, which is the Muladhara. So you hold on to the lock your perineum in the Muladhara chakra, and we are going to be holding on to this position. Visualize a radiant jewel deep within your core, flawless and self-luminous, radiating light in all directions. Continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
The jewel pose progression. This comes from the Trill Core, part 7, verse 20. Janu Prishto Karnakone Nitva Padangushta Yugam Dridham Shunyaka Kumbhakam Kritva स्वशस्य सप्तदा प्रयोजयेत्.
Okay, so now remain seated on the ground, and here again bring the soles of your feet together and hold on to the feet with both the hands. Now we are going to be bringing the legs behind the shoulders. So we're going to be the legs will be extended above behind the shoulders. And so we're going to be maintaining. So if you're not able to completely come into this asana, no worries, just bring it onto your elbows as much as you are able to. But try to keep, if you are able to come fully into this asana, try to keep your arms straight above you while holding the leg. So now visualize a radiant jewel deep within your core, flawless and self-luminous, radiating light in all directions. And continue with this Sahaja Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. And gaze at the tip of your nose. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Okay, now you can relax. Let's move to the next asana.
The next is Sanandanasana, the source of bliss pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Sanandanasana.
Good. Now come seated. Bring both the soles of the feet together on the ground. And now we are going to be placing both the palms on the knees. Keep your knees wide apart, bent wide apart, and place the knees on the ground if possible. And keep your spine straight, elongated. Engage your core and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Continue with this Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally. And here you will visualize yourself seated in an effortless calm, hips open and resting wide on the earth. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze straight. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Nagarjunasana, the serpent sage Arjuna pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Nagarjunasana.
Now we'll maintain the same seated position, and now we are going to be holding on to the opposite. We're going to be holding on to the opposite ankle, the opposite feet, crossing your arms. Keep your back straight and continue with this Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha. And here visualize yourself, just be in the quiet clarity, grounded with attention turned inwards, and gaze forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Very good. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Vanakandhyasana, the separated limbs pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita. Vamakandhyasana.
So in this asana, now we are going to start with being seated with the soles of the feet together in front of us. And now we're going to be bending the knee outward wide. Make sure that the knees are wide apart and keep your spine elongated and the chest should be upright as you bring one heel close to the perineum and the other foot just in front of the opposite foot's toes. Okay. So now you are going to be crossing your hands and holding on to the opposite foot ankles. Maintain this grounding and continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Here visualize yourself seated within a quiet clearing of the forest. Surrounding complexity fades as attention settles into a single contained space. Continue to chant internally, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Prakatipavasana, the spread foot pose. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Prakatipavasana.
Good. Now again we'll start with in a seated position. Now we are going to be lifting the left leg and we're going to be holding on to the left ankle with the left elbow joint. And now we're going to be raising the left leg upwards. Raise your right leg as well and place its foot on the left upper arm. Place the foot on the left upper arm and then hold and catch hold of the toes with your left hand. So we're going to be now you're going to be placing your right hand on your right neck for support. So here we're going to be continuing with the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Just breathe in and out normally. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So the right foot will be on the left arm here. Visualize the aligning with your original innate state and visualize that all the efforts are dissolving, softening into fluid, intuitive coordination. Now you can relax and let us move to the next asana.
The next is Manakandhyasana Parshvantare, the separated limbs pose on the other side. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita, Manakandhyasana.
Okay, now we'll again be seated on the mat and now we are going to be keeping the feet together in front of us with the knees bent wide and keep your spine straight, elongated, your chest upright, and now you're going to be bringing one heel close to the perineum and the other foot will be just in front of the opposite toes. Okay, now cross your hands and hold on to the opposite foot ankles. Visualize your joint feet as the singular foot of existence from which dualities emerge and separate. See the realities, opposites dissolve back into the unity and feel a space of inner harmony with nature's boundless flow. Continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, gaze at the tip of your nose. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Prakatipavasana Parshvantare, the spread foot pose repeated on the other side. This comes from the Naradiya Samhita MS. Prakatipavasana.
Okay, now again we're gonna start by being in a seated position, and in this asana now you're gonna be extending so place one foot on top of your shoulders and then you're gonna be placing the other foot onto the arm of the arm that is holding onto the foot of the raised leg. Now the other arm you'll be placing it onto your shoulders. Here you are going to be holding onto your shoulder with the other hand. Now continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze downwards. Visualize that your lifted feet as the singular foot of awareness from which dualities of efforts and strain emerge and separate. Good. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Brahman Adivaranasana, the creator's hue pose. This comes from the Yoga Nirmaya of Sundaradeva. Brahmana divarnasanam nama padmasanosto hastau brahma grantim bhadvai modnim chado mukam kritva dhyayed brahmavarnam.
Very good. Now we'll remain seated, we'll come to Padmasana, where both the legs are going to be binding your hands in the Brahma Granthi Mudra, so the knot of Brahma. So by interlocking the fingers from the outside in and the thumbs facing outwards. So now lower your head gently downwards in a controlled manner, mindful movement. So here we'll be performing a new pranayama, which is Kriti Shrishta Kumbhaka. Here we'll be inhaling with force, drawing the breath upward from the navel and bringing it to the region of the heart. Then we are going to be performing the Uddiyana Bandha, meaning we're going to be sucking the stomach in and up. And then we are going to be applying the Jarandhara Bandha, where we'll be locking the chin to the chest. And we're also going to be locking the perineum. So here we'll be engaging all the three bandhas in the Mahamudra Bandha. Gaze straight and visualize a brilliant golden light filling your inner space. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Garvasana, the pride pose. This comes from the Yoga Nirmaya of Sundaradeva. Padmasanam samastaya hastau vakshasi samstitau garva vishtaiva tishted garvasanamidam smritam.
Very good. Now we'll again be coming to a seated position. You can come out of Padmasana, and now you're going to be sitting so now here we're going to be sitting with the legs crossed in, then in place. Each foot will be on the opposite hip. So we're again going to be coming into Padmasana. So now we're going to be resting the elbows gently on the thigh, and we're going to be interlocking the fingers in front of us, in front of the chest, letting the elbows and the shoulders relax. Keep your spine straight, long and straight, and visualize a deep pride arising within you, not from ego, but from your sacred connection to Paramashiva, making it real through the grace of your Guru. Now here we are going to be continuing with the Kriti Shrishta Kumbhaka. Engage all the three bandhas, the Mahamudra Bandha, and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and gaze at the tip of your nose. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Swastika Panchasana, the auspicious pose 5. Swastikasana Pancha comes from the Sutra Hatha Yoga MS. Swastika asanam pratamam hi gambhirasanam krimshanam kukarmajnanam danam karshati hakka paschimatanam.
Very good. So now we are going to be coming to, again, we're going to remain seated in Padmasana. So here we are going to be keeping the spine tall, the shoulders relaxed. Now place each hand beneath its respective thigh and sliding your palms down to rest underneath. Now you're going to be keeping your fingers relaxed and the palms flat against the floor, and visualize yourself seated as at the center of a radiant swastika, each arm extending to the 4 directions in perfect balance. Now continue. Here we will be performing the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, where you're going to be inhaling deeply and holding your breath while withdrawing your senses. So bring your attention inwards as you hold as long as possible your breath, and exhale slowly and repeat this. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight, and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So here the hands will be underneath the thighs, alright. Okay, so now you can relax. Let us now move to the next asana.
The next is Yoga Mudrasana, the seal of yoga pose. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali, chapter 3, verse 12. Karani Chitrana Masi Yoga Mudra Vibhunanam.
Good. Now we're going to be in this asana. We are going to remain seated on the ground in Padmasana, still with your spine tall and your shoulders relaxed. Now you're going to lean your chest forward, bringing your forehead down onto the ground in front of you, and you're going to be placing the back of your hand on the ground beside you with your palms facing upwards. Here visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, standing in front of you. As you bow your head down in gratitude, feel his blissful presence permeate your being, relieving you of all the karmas and any pain patterns surfacing. Here continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze straight and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Rise up, and now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Rirasanam, the empty pose. This comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 6, chapter 8, verse 19. Rirasanam tu vigneyam kakshasanam atapparam grivasanam cha paramam bhujasanam hyauchyate.
Okay, in this asana, we'll remain seated in Padmasana with your spine tall and your shoulders relaxed. Now lean your body, your upper body forward gently and maintaining the length of your spine. Now you're going to be taking the left arm. You're going to be taking the left arm and reaching in behind your back and holding on to the right arm. Now you're going to be bringing the right hand across the front of your body. Okay, now lower your head down forward towards the ground and visualize your body dissolving into pure space, every boundary fading into the vastness around you. Now here continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Here we'll be maintaining the Mula Bandha as well as we'll be engaging the Jarandhara Bandha, where you'll be tucking your chin to your chest. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally and gaze forward. Relax, rise up, and let us move to the next asana.
The next is Kurmasana Trini, the turtle pose 3. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali, chapter 3, verse 9. Dandapashvam cha sahajam bandhapindam mayurakam ekapadam mayuram cha sanmayuram ihochyate.
Okay, now here we'll remain seated in Padmasana. Keep your spine straight and relax your shoulders. Now you're going to be leaning your upper body forward, resting your elbows gently on top of your thigh. Now you're going to be cupping your hands at the side of your chest, using them for leverage and support as you lean forward. Now keep your spine long and open up your chest, and visualize yourself as a large turtle resting within the still depth of the ocean. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze forward. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Rirasanam Parshvantare, the empty pose on the other side. This comes from the Malla Purana, chapter 8, verse 19. Rirasanam tu vigneyam kakshasanam atapparam grivasanam cha paramam bhujasanam ihochyate.
Okay, so remain seated in the same position. Now we are going to be bringing the other hand around your body, behind your back, and holding on to the foot, and we're going to be bringing the other hand in front of you. You can place it on your belly. Now you're going to be leaning forward and down. Visualize your body dissolving into pure space, every boundary fading into the vastness around you. Now continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, and we'll continue to maintain the Mula Bandha, as well as we'll be engaging the Jalandhara Bandha, where you'll be tucking your chin to your chest, gaze forward and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now you can rise up, relax, and let us move to the next asana.
The next is Karmukasana Chatwari, the bow pose. 4. This comes from the Yogasana Jaina MS. Padmasanam samstaya purato grihya padayo dakshinam dakshinenaiva vamam vamena panina idam karmukasanam syad ityahurasanoka vida.
Okay, so here we'll again from Padmasana we're going to uncross the legs. Now we are going to place each foot onto, so we'll still be maintaining Padmasana here in this asana. So maintain Padmasana, so place each foot onto the opposite thigh, and now we are going to be from this anchored position we're going to be crossing the hands and hold on to the opposite big toes from behind. So from behind we're going to be holding on to the opposite big toes, and in the prana mudra, so you will be holding on holding on to the opposite big toes with the index and the middle finger. This is the prana mudra, and visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, seated upon a golden throne, radiating boundless light, and his eyes limitless galaxies of compassion lock with yours, dissolving all your worries. Waves of bliss engulfs you, awakening hidden powers within you. Now continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Tipakarasana, the sideways splits pose. This comes from the Yogasana Mala Sanchitra. Asana Kauguna Sharira Koso Jai.
Okay, now we are going to be extending the legs sideways. Spread the feet as wide as possible sideways. Now we are going to be extending your arms out straight in front of you, and you're going to be lifting your chest, lengthening your spine, and keeping your gaze forward. Breathe steadily. Here we're going to be performing the Rechaka Kumbhaka, where you're going to be exhaling fully and holding on to the breath out while remaining steady and aware. So here we are not going to be inhaling, we're only going to be exhaling. That is the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Visualize yourself as a palmyra tree standing tall and resilient, and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is Parasana, the supreme pose. This comes from the Yogasana Mala Sanchitra. Parasana Kauguna Asana Kauguna Chorasi Vayujai Pavana Sarala Bahai.
Okay, now we are going to be coming again to a seated position. Now we are going to be lifting, so we're going to be placing the knees facing towards the sky, and we're going to be bringing the hands underneath the knees and holding on. So interlace your fingers here and lift your feet off the ground. Now you're going to be here continuing with the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Here visualize yourself as Lord Veerabhadra, fierce and powerful. See your awareness charged with courage, decisive action and unwavering focus, embodying strength, protection and fearless resolve. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is Pinda Mayurasana, the bound peacock pose. This comes from the Hatha Navali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Atha Pinda Mayurasanam ekam padam mayuragre prasarya ekam mayuravat idam Pinda Mayurakhyam sarvavyadi nivasakam.
Good. Now in this asana we are going to be basically doing the split pose while balancing on the hands. So we're going to be place your hands firm on the ground, the fingers pointing away from you, and put one. So now you're going to be coming to a splitting position while balancing on your hand. So visualize Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and anchoring your consciousness. See his energy stabilizing your being, and continue with the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, as well as tuck your chin to your chest and gaze forward. Chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Okay, you can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Parasana on the other side. Parasana Kauguna Choraso Vayujai Pavasana Sarala Bahai Parasana Kauguna Gatiya Vayujai.
Okay, so here we'll be performing the splitting, the split on to the side, so side split, as you can see here. So it is the side split on the other side. So here visualize yourself as a triangle, stable and balanced, and engage your Mula Bandha. Continue with the Rechaka Kumbhaka and gaze at the tip of your nose. Good. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Pinda Mayurasana Parshvantare, on the bound peacock pose on the other side. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Atha Pinda Mayurasanam ekam padam mayuragre prasarya ekam mayuravat idam Pinda Mayurakhyam sarvavyadi vinashakam.
Okay, now here again we'll be performing the split position on the other side while balancing on both the hands. The fingers will be pointing away from you. So here you're going to be engaging the Mula Bandha and lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze straight, and visualize yourself as Lord Veerabhadra. Continue with the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Good. You can relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Prasaritasana, the extended pose. This comes from the Kiranagama Yoga Pada, chapter 1 verse 10. Padadvayam prasadya atma sumukham suprasaritam.
Okay, so in this asana we are going to be coming to a standing position first. So stand tall and spread your legs wide apart, and now you're going to be bending your hips slightly forward while keeping your chest lifted, and your palms will be resting on your thighs here. So rest. Yes. Good. So you can extend your hands above you. So here you are going to be visualizing the bliss oozing from every fiber of your being, and continue to perform the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha, as well as tuck your chin to your chest and gaze at your third eye. Continue with the mantra, with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Okay, you can relax now, and let us move to the next asana.
The next is Uttana Padasana, the extended foot pose. This comes from the Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya, chapter 1. वशिष्ठम् अथ कौन्दिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमत्तम् उत्तानमयूरं सेतुबन्धनम् उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मयूरं मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Okay, so in this asana you're going to lie down on your back. So start with lying down on your back, and your hands will be by your side, flat on the ground. So now you're going to be yes, so you're going to be placing the sole of your right foot
सर्वसंरक्षक सन्मार्गनायक महाभावेन लिंगोद्भवेन आनन्दरूपेण
नित्यानन्द 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 नित्यानन्द
त्यागराजशा
Yes, Nithyananda, welcome back and apologies for the technical glitch. So now we're going to continue with Uttana Padasana. So in this asana, we'll start by lying flat on the ground, and we're going to be lifting the limbs, all the 4 limbs off the ground, and we're going to be maintaining this position. So here you're going to visualize yourself as the extended foot, reaching effortlessly forward with precision and control. Continue with the Rechaka Kumbhaka, where you're not going to be inhaling, but you're just going to be exhaling fully, forcefully. And here maintain the Mula Bandha as well as tuck your chin to your chest in the Jalandhara Bandha. Look straight and continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Now let us move to the next asana. You can relax.
The next is Upavishra Konasana, seated wide angle pose. This is similar to Tipakarasana. This comes from the Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya. Sapta Chakrakshalanaya Vrikshasana Visheshakan Jananendriya Dadhyaya Kona Bhedan Samabhyaset.
Okay, so here now in this asana we are going to be coming to the split position. And yes, as you can see here, come to the split position, and now you're going to be holding on to the respective foot in the split position. Visualize yourself seated in wide openness. Awareness is stretching to embrace all the directions. Continue with the Rechaka Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and tuck your chin to your chest. Gaze at the tip of your nose and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham internally. Okay, good. Now you can relax. Let us move to the next asana.
The next is Dhanurasana Trini, the bow pose 3. This comes from the Hatha Pradipika of Swatmarama. Padangushtautpa nidyam grihitva shravanavadhi dhanura akarshanim kritva dhanurasana muchyate.
Okay, now in this asana, we're going to start by extending both the legs in front of us. Now we are going to be holding on to the we're going to be crossing, well, first we're going to be crossing the hands, and we're going to be holding on to the toes, and we are going to be extending one foot to the ear, and the other hand will be holding on to the toes of the extended leg. And visualize yourself as a bow coiled with tension yet perfectly aligned. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, engage the Mula Bandha as well as tuck your chin to your chest and look forward, and continue to chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Virasana Chatwari, the hero pose 4. This is from Kiranagama Yogapada. Dvigunam patitam padam vamam dakshinata utitam kritva nyonya-stalastam tu viparitam ata uchyate.
Okay, now here we'll start by extending both the legs in front of us. And sit grounded and steady. And now you're going to be placing you're going to be folding your right leg so that it rests across the top of your left thigh, and you're going to be placing your hands onto the ground, your fingers facing to the side. Now you're going to be keeping your chest lifted and keep your spine long, and visualize yourself in heroic steadiness, sitting with dignity, calm focus. Here continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and tuck your chin to your chest, and gaze at the tip of your nose. Gaze at the tip of your nose and continue to chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Good. Relax. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Ekapadasana Dve, the 1 foot pose 2. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Ekapadam mato kante uttapya ekam cha dandavat karo samputitau kritva ekapadam taduchyate.
Good. Now here in this asana, we are going to be extending 1 foot forward, And we're going to be bringing the other foot behind the neck. Yes. And we'll be placing the hands in the Anjali Mudra in front of us. Visualize yourself balanced on one foot, rooted yet poised for movement. And continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha and gaze at your third eye. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next asana is Vamapada Shirshasana, the left foot headstand. The next is the Yoga Kaustubha asana. This is Vamapada Shirshasana from Yoga Kaustubha. Besine Bamane Pagamata Uparila Vai Dakshina Pachalya Bhagapara Chandavana Vava Yehata Jodhnya Sthiti Karavete Dvipada Shirsham Shirshasana Kahevayache.
Okay. In this asana, now come to a sitting position to begin with. And now we're going to be bringing this time both the legs upward and lifting the legs, both the legs behind the neck, so that the feet rest across the upper back. Here we're going to be lifting only one leg behind the neck, and the other foot will be resting close to the perineum. And bring your hands in the Anjali Mudra in front of you and visualize yourself inverted, balancing on one foot with serene awareness. Place your hands in the Anjali Mudra. Continue. Here we'll be continuing with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. So the pranayama is different. And lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha and tuck your chin to your chest. And gaze at your third eye. Continue with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now let us move to the next asana.
The next is Ekapada Mayurasana, one foot peacock pose. This comes from the Hatha Ratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Harati sakalor roghan ashugul modhara din abhibhavati chadoshin asanas Shri Mayuram.
All right. So in this asana, yes. So here we are going to be bringing one leg behind the neck, and in this position we are going to be balancing on the hands and performing the split position. Visualize yourself as a peacock, balanced on one foot, poised and radiant. Continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka. Lock your perineum in the Moola Bandha and gaze forward. Chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Very good. Now we'll move to the second last asana for today.
The next is Supta Trivikramasana, the supine 3 steps pose. This comes from the Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya, chapter 2, verse 16. Uttana kurma pitam cha simham garudam eva cha vatayanam gomukham cha bharadvajam trivikramam.
Good. Now lie down. You're going to be putting one foot behind the leg. Yes. Lie down on the floor and hold on to your foot that is behind the neck, and the other hand will be by your side. Visualize yourself as the cosmic Trivikrama triangle with angle rooted on earth, and another reaching towards the heavens, and the third angle piercing your very soul. Here continue with the Pratyahara Kumbhaka, lock your perineum in the Mula Bandha and gaze at the tip of your nose. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Very good. Now we can relax. And now let us come to the last asana for today.
The last asana of today is Shavasana Dve, the corpse pose 2. This comes from the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi. Atha chitta vishrantu shavasanam uttanamudhva shayanam vidhaya parshvapadau karasamputam hridi nasagre adhyadrisham smaran shivam pritoshtiti yantra shavasanam hitat.
Okay, good. So now lie down completely flat on the ground. Relax your entire body with your legs stretched long and your arms softly by your side. Palms are open up to the sky. And let the breath ease into its own rhythm. Shoulders settle, face relax. Gaze quietly inwards at the tip of your nose while the body lies unmoving. Allow the heart's knots to loosen as fatigue dissolves and rest spreads through the whole body. Visualize your body as dead, lifeless. Transcendence and the dissolution of mortal limitations, embodying freedom, liberation, and the eternal presence of divine consciousness. Continue with the Sahaja Kumbhaka here. And here we will be performing the Shakti Chalana Mudra, where you'll be gently focusing the inner awareness through the eyes, soft and steady, maintaining alertness without tension. And you'll also be locking your Mula Bandha. Again, gaze at the tip of your nose and chant internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now slowly start moving your fingers, your toes, and bring your knees to your chest. Rub your knees with your hands, move your body from side to side. And now come to a sitting position. And with this, congratulations to all of you. We've completed the Tritiya Vinyasa Krama Part 1, and tomorrow we'll be continuing with the Tritiya Vinyasa Krama Part 2. So another sequence of 100 asanas. So if you enjoyed the asana, please like, share and subscribe, and you can also scan the QR code here to find out how you can be part of KAILASA, how if you want to become a KAILASAvasi, come live in KAILASA, if you want to take sannyas, if you want to attend the Paramashivasena program, which is completely free of cost, and you can go into have a deeper experience of these asanas at the Paramashivasena program. We invite you to scan the QR code, fill out the form, and we will reach out to you. Again, I hope you enjoyed the yoga session today, and we'll be having more amazing, challenging and relaxing asanas in the upcoming days. So with this, let us end with the Purna Mantra. Place your hands into the Anjali Mudra in front of you and bow down to Swamiji, paying gratitude, deep gratitude to Swamiji for gifting us the Nithyananda Yoga, the original yoga from the source, from Paramashiva himself. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Parukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you everyone, and we'll see you again tomorrow.